Alright, welcome to the Cookshack YouTube channel. I believe we've done part of this one time before, but we're going to revisit it one more time. We're going to do the World Barbecue Championship Perfect Score ribs from 2000. And we're going to do it in a spare rib, and we're going to do it in a baby back rib. And what we're going to do today too is we're going to show you how to take a spare rib and cut it down into a St. Louis cut rib, and take the rib tips off of it and square it up so you have a good even cook throughout the whole rib. So to get us started, we're going to show you, this is a full-size spare rib right here with the rib tips on. And this particular one, sometimes this one has the brisket bone off, which would be another bone running this direction up here. So when you're in your case from your butcher, you're going to see sometimes this will be on, sometimes it'll be off. This particular rib has it off. This is about a 5-pound spare rib. So it's very easy to do. And once you take that brisket bone off, you're going to see right here from this point, the lowest point, if you can picture that as straight edge all the way across there, there's a knuckle that'll cut this directly off. I'm going to turn the rib upside down so I can see the back of the bones. This is called the skirt on the rib, and I'm also going to take the skirt off of it. A lot of people save those skirts, and when they make sausage, then they'll grind it up into sausage later on down the road. But now that the brisket bone's off of it, I'm going to start at the top of that rib bone right there, and I'm going to picture this as a straight, even cut all the way across. And you see how it's just going to go right through. My knife will cut right through it. And there we have rib tips that come off. This is what made Applebee's famous. This is what you would make your rib tips out of. And you can still cook this too, but see how thick it is? This is going to cook and have to go to a higher, longer temperature range, internal temp, than what the regular spare rib does. And that's why we want to get this off, is because this down here, will, to get it even in competition cooking, this is too thick. So that's why we want to separate them. In the restaurant world, you're going to buy a lot of these because you got more sellable per bone, even bones for your dinners. Okay, now we're going to take the membrane. There's a membrane on the back of the ribs, and the reason why we take that off is to get more flavor and also get our seasonings down into the meat. A lot of times it's easier to take a paper towel. I usually try to come in between the second and third bone and work my fingers to get it up underneath there to pop it loose. And hopefully we try to get a flap started here on the end, so then it'll just pull it off. The spare rib is going to be a whole lot harder to do than the baby back. The baby back rib is much easier to deal with. But here we start seeing how that membrane's coming off, and it stops. Take our knife and try to get it back started again. This is probably the most difficult part of doing with the spare rib, is getting the membrane off of it all in one piece. Trim a little bit of the fat on the back side, and that right there, look at our, see if we got any heavy fats on the front. It all looks pretty good. That's ready to put our brown sugar on. We're going to brown sugar these up overnight. And here's what we call a baby back rib. This is about a 2.5-pound baby back. A little slick. But we're going to take the membrane off of it. There's really not much to do to it. We're going to look at any heavy fat pieces on there. Everything looks pretty good. Same thing again. We're going to come between the second and third bone on the back. We're going to try to get this flap started like we did. And then we're just going to pull. There we go. Got that off of there. Also, a lot of times there's still knuckles are together up here on the top, and what I would do is making sure that we could cut through and there isn't any knuckles sticking. This looks pretty good. Alright, now we're just going to get some regular light brown sugar, and we're going to put a nice coating and rub it into this ribs, top and bottom. refrigerated our ribs overnight with the brown sugar on them. And now what we're going to do is put the Fast Eddy's barbecue seasoning on the ribs very liberally. Now we're ready to go out to the PG500s, what we're going to cook on today. And we're going to have the temperature setting at 275 degrees. The baby backs will cook approximately 3.5 hours. And the spare ribs will cook between 4 and 4.5 hours. They're a little bit heavier and thicker, so it'll have to take a little bit longer. Just took the ribs off the grill, and now what we're going to do is get ready to put our favorite barbecue sauce on there here at the end. But I want to show you, if you noticed how when we were bending the ribs to see how done they were. And what I'd like to see is start to see the separation of the meat in it. See how flexible this is right here? That's what you're looking for. And then you're wanting to see the separation start coming away from the bone. That's going to tell you that the rib is done. If you don't see that flex and start seeing that separation, you need to keep cooking your ribs. If they're still stiff, you're not finished. But as you can tell how flexible these are and how they're starting to come apart, that's exactly where you want them. So now what we're going to do is put our barbecue sauce on there for the end finish. Hey, look who we got in the house. We got the Diva Q. Danielle's going to taste some ribs with us. So here's what we came off our PG500, and we're going to break these bad boys out.
Well, that doesn't suck. That's quite the flavor you got going on there.
These are the spare ribs that we made into St. Louis cuts, and here is the baby backs right there.
Which do you prefer?
Well, the World Barbecue Championship rib was a baby back in 2000, but it seems like the barbecue world's changed where everybody's going to spare ribs.
Because that's what I cook.
Yep, and that's what I'm cooking nowadays too.
Are you cooking that this weekend? Is the Cookshack team doing that this weekend?
You bet. Well, I'm cooking under Fast Eddy's this weekend. Stuart's cooking under Cookshack. Make sure when you look at the results, you know the difference between the two, okay? I'm Fast Eddy, he's Cookshack, okay? So, here we go. We're going to cut you a rib out of the baby back. And then we'll get you a spare rib too. Right out of the middle, the heart of it. How about that?
Because that's where you'd be turning in your ribs from anyways, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and so we've got, one of the wonderful things you can see already is that, you've got that leaner part right at the base, by the bone. You've got the fattier part there. You've got all the fat rendered out of here beautifully. And then you've got this. So what did you use on this? I need to know, because I may need some tips.
We used the PG500 was the biggie. That's what we used.
That does not suck, right?
Nope.
And look at this. I want to show you I love ribs. Who doesn't love ribs? Look at how juicy and thick those are. Absolutely gorgeous. Does not suck at all. I think I might be in trouble this weekend in a big way in ribs yet again.
Well, now you get a taste of the good rib.
So that is a fantastic rib. So that's your rub, right?
Right. You bet.
See that? It's got a perfect bite.
Come right off the bone. Look at the moist.
Clean.
Yep.
Nice clean. And it's not overcooked.
Nope.
So one of the things is that is a perfectly cooked rib.
Exactly.
That is not even a remote.
Remember we showed the bend test where you get it exactly how it's supposed to be bent to get it right, and these were not wrapped. These were cooked open the whole way.
Yeah. Beautiful color, great texture. Absolutely fantastic, juicy, great spice.
Thank you.
All right, I'm in trouble this weekend.
All right. Well, thanks, Diva. Don't forget to go and check us out at www.cookshack.com, and you can call us at 1-800-423-0698. Thanks.